also be included now the IGAD health policy. This health policy is what I'll take you through. And what we try to achieve from the get-go to the end, which is a cross-border data sharing policy for the region. This is a journey that started back in 2017 and has taken us through to 2022 when the policy was announced. Why I'm here today is to basically share the best practices that led to this process, identify why what happened now as a region and why we came together to create this cross-border data sharing policy for ease of healthcare. I believe at the end of the day, healthcare is universal. It's also for migratory purposes, cross-border global populations, and any other parts of the movement across borders. Okay, so I think you can see the first slide basically. It pinpoints out the challenges, because when you start a journey, it is for you to understand the problem. What is the solution to the problem, and how do you present and tackle the problem? We list out 4 challenges for cross-border global populations, which is basically difficulty accessing healthcare outside their countries of origin, which is also the migrant population that they face, lack of continuity of care, because every country basically was working as a silo, inadequate quantity data and reliable medical records. So again, you can see that data is very important and comes out very clearly. Vulnerable populations susceptible to issues of personal data. These are migratory people, cross-border people, traders, and people who come across the borders. Now, the challenge is within IGAD member states. As you know, IGAD is a region which has 250 million people. There was an availability or able to effectively monitor and retain health indicators. Why we point this out is what you're also pointing out in your labor laws, in the labor structure indicators, is for you to basically understand. For us countries to make decisions, for the region to make decisions, you have to have indicators and processes within embedded for you to understand this. The challenge is an accurate or timely prediction of disease outbreaks and epidemics. How do you build upon that? Challenge is the applying resource allocation and evidence-based decision making for the member states, and cross-border flow of health information may not meet current data privacy standards, which is very key, because privacy standards and data standards is what all of you have on your phones at the moment. The first thing when you sign in on your phone, when your software upgraded, tells you to agree, accept cookies, that is data standards and privacy. So we identified major policy gaps that came about. Those, the 3 of them, that was basically the lack of legal or regulatory frameworks for data sharing, those inconsistent standards and policies for data protection within the region, and those also inconsistent patient confidentiality and privacy laws, which I know you're all certain about, and you face this within your structures, within your migratory team, within your migratory systems. And this led to now a landscape policy analysis of IGAD region to identify gaps and challenges, which identified these ones. The member states came together and said, which you are doing at this moment, came together and said to develop a health data sharing policy to enhance sharing of data between member states at various levels. This will promote continuity of care, improve epidemic control, and enhance public health learning. Okay, so I've been told I'm too fast with the translators. Let me slow down. I'll take you to the next slide. Now, this slide basically takes you through the timeline for developing a cross-border data sharing protection policy framework. If you can take a look, sorry, the next slide please. Who's controlling the slides? Next. There you go. So this is the timeline that it took from the decision point meeting back in 2017 to the final endorsement by the member states cabinet secretaries of health in Mombasa in March 2022. You can see the decision was made as member states. Thereafter followed a landscape analysis on why we need the cross-border data sharing policy. We went on to a steering committee, the recommendations, the regional data sharing policy development of the same. The draft 1 was developed back in 2019. As we were preparing draft 2 with the member states, with the member state involvement, because we were going from country to country
We were lucky to have the conversation with the Ministry of Health, Uganda, in 2019, and stakeholders, not only the Ministry of Health, and I want to point this out, not only the Ministry of Health, but we involved stakeholders who are in the legal framework data sharing spaces in these countries. We invited them for these conversations, we held them from country to country, and then the pandemic happened in 2020, where everything got shut down, and there was like a whole change in systems, and everybody realized that data sharing and information sharing is very important. True or false? Because now, when you come, you present your vaccination certificate. If you don't have a vaccination certificate, Uganda believes that there's a standardized system that if you've got COVAX, if you got vaccinated by COVAX, that means that's data sharing, that's information flow. That means that yes, you're sharing the same standard of information within the region. So Uganda accepts that. I hope I'm not too fast. Okay. The country stakeholders consultation